right, guys. Thanks for checking us out. I'm here with Juan. Juan is the owner of TurboWax. Juan and I have known each other for several years now. Actually, Juan is also from the same island that I'm from, which is Puerto Rico. And Juan has been in the industry for maybe 15 years
Yes,
now,
sir.
a little
Yeah.
bit more than that. And there's a lot of history, especially if you're from the island of Puerto Rico. You know a lot of TurboWax because they were big in the racing scene back there. In the quarter mile track, there was a quarter mile track called Salinas Speedway, and Juan was one of the big sponsors of that. Whenever we had races down there, you would see a lot of the TurboWax products. So it's been a long standing relationship with him. Of course, here at BMW INVASION, we want to be able to support local customers, Florida-based companies as well, to get them on board, to give them some more exposure of the products that they have and how their products compare to the other top-of-the-line products. One of the things that we're doing today is Ken and I just got some new BBS wheels. And Ken got some BBS LMs for his F80 M3, and in my boxes I have some BBS RS2s, which are custom built for my E90 M3. So
we'll show them real quick, Look at
Ooh,
that.
boy.
yeah. So these are 3-piece wheels. They were custom built by a guy that I met online. His name is Mark. He goes by the Instagram handle The Deported. So these are BBS wheels. They're the last BBS RS2 faces that were sold by BBS directly. So they're new faces. And what he did is he made them a 3-piece wheel for me. I'm going to be running 19 by 9.5 in the front and 19 by 10.5 in the rear for the Atlantis Blue M3, which, by the way, was also fully done head to toe by TurboWax products. On that particular car, what we did was we did a paint correction to it, and then we did all the TurboWax toppings on it. So I've been a loyal fan of what Juan is doing. One of the things that I like about Juan is the level of detail when you're getting your car done and how he explains the entire process. I'm also big on detailing myself. Like a lot of our viewers, we have
Same here.
we do a lot of online research. So I'm the type of person that you say something, I'm immediately online trying to figure out if you're telling the truth. So I've done a lot of scrutiny with Juan on a lot of his products. But once again, we're open to everyone that's out there, and we understand that there's always a development of new products that are coming out. Today, we're going to talk about ceramic coating. And I'm going to hand it over to Juan. He's going to give us a quick introduction about his ceramic coating process and how his ceramic coating compares to other ceramic coatings on the market. So,
All right.
Juan?
Okay, guys. Well, welcome to the channel and thank you for having me here. So we're going to be talking today about what we call the TurboWax Boosted 2.0. It's an exterior ceramic coating. This is a 30 ml kit. It comes inside the box. It comes with applicator, the microfiber, and the instructions. And this bottle will give you one full card, 2 coats, and one big card, 1 coat. So that's basically what comes inside here. So this exterior ceramic coating, it is safe for carbon fiber, matte wheels, wrap, painted surfaces, wheels, chrome wheels. We use it sometimes on the glass, but we don't use it on the windshield because of the wiper action. We don't want to have those markings. So it's a very diversified coating that you can be applied to many different surfaces.
I watched some of your videos too. You mentioned that with matte wheels or anything matte,
Yeah.
Your ceramic coat is not going to get rid of that matte.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So you want to explain a little bit
Yeah.
more about that?
Yeah. So we had done some vehicles that are matte, and it will not enhance the shine to this first surface. What I will do is I will give you a nice layer of protection. We had done on black and we had done on gray. Recently we did a 2020 E63 AMG and we did the calipers and the wheels. and the customer was just blown away because the wheels, they look like brand new. It doesn't add any shine to them, but of course we are having the turbo wax protection to the surface, which is very important. Wheels in general and calipers are, exposed to a lot of road debris, a lot of water, dirt, many contaminants. I mean, they take a beating. And some of you guys with the M's, you guys are hard on the brakes. So
That's a lot of brake dust.
yeah, a lot of brake dust. Yeah,
And heat.
and heat. Yeah, European cars for the most part, BMW, Benz, and Audi, they suffer from that because of the composition of the pads. And that's done in purpose because they don't want to damage the rotor. So this will help tremendously. We will put a layer on the surface. We will cover the bottles real deep with this, and we will do the calipers. Next time when you're gonna wash, you will just simply put your wheel cleaner on them and rinse them, and you're done. The one beautiful thing about this product is that it will not allow the brake dust to cake into the bottles of the wheels, which is a huge problem. You go and you invest $5,000 with the wheels. Now the brake dust with the heat and change of temperatures and the water and stopping and going, that dust will burn into the surface, and you don't want that because then to take that out is extremely hard, and sometimes you can take it out. Okay. So that's just a little in a nutshell about that.
So I noticed that this product here is 9H,
Yes.
and there's been a lot of back and forth. Originally, the first ceramic coatings that came out were a lower level, I think
Yes.
maybe 5H,
Right.
and they kind of been working their way up. Can you explain to this what is 9H?
Well, the 9H is a test that is done in a scale. They pretty much have some special pencils, graphite pencils, and they will put a marking on the surface, and when the pencil leave a mark, that's how will they rate the product. If you have a 6 pencil, you will make the mark and you will see it, and they will rate that product as 6. Today, many companies have the 9H. We have a few things different from the 9H. We do have the certification for the 9H, and but we also do heavily a salt test. So a salt test is a privatory test that we do with the manufacturer, and this would allow us to ensure that the coatings will live to the real harsh conditions up north. So that's a little big difference
So
from
up
others.
north you have the salt where when it's
Exactly.
snowing they throw snow,
Exactly.
salt on the road.
Yes.
And of course, as you're driving, that salt builds up on your car.
Exactly.
And you're saying that this product helps repel against that as well?
Yes, it will not allow all those harsh contaminants that they put on the road to bond to the surface.
Okay. So there's a lot of ceramic coatings out there,
Yes.
right? There's a lot of major name brands
Yes.
that also claim to be 9H
Yes.
as well. How does your product compare to them in regards to durability, application, withstanding heat?
Yes.
So can you talk to us about that?
Sure. So what we're saying is with one layer of coating, we're saying that 2 years will be okay with this product. If you put 2 coats, we have seen up to three and a half years, but for sure 3 years. And one big thing with these coatings is that you have to properly maintain it. Some other manufacturers claim that you don't have to maintain the surface, which I disagree with them. You have to put once in a while some type of assistant aid to support the coating for the extended life. A few of the big difference from our coating is, believe it or not, this is a professional grade coating. And it's a very easy to apply and to remove. So the weekend warrior guys, they can apply this themselves. You don't need to have any type of certifications. We do offer technical support online via WhatsApp or Skype, video conference, and we will support you with that. This coating, the ingredients they have in the inside allow the product to be easy to apply and remove. The flashing time is about 5 minutes depending on the ambient temperature. The one good thing about this particular coating here is that you can use it, like I said earlier, in carbon fiber, painted surfaces. You can use it on wheels, wheel bottles, on your calipers. So one product will cover all those surfaces. Compared to some other products they require, let's say, for example, a primer. We don't feel that it's necessary to have a primer if the surface is correctly prepared. Some of them put an after coat, and the after coat will give you that wow repellent action that a lot of people are thinking that that's what the ceramic coating is about, which is not. The ceramic coating is about protecting the surface from the harsh elements, from bird poop, from very light scratches, and so on.
Okay, so
Yes.
from tree sap,
Tree
and,
sap,
and all
yes.
this type of stuff. So I know we talked about water beading,
Yes.
right? And we know that the ceramic coating does have, one of the major properties is water beading.
Yes.
But you were explaining to me that the water beading, actually the water just sits on the surface.
Right.
And then, with the sun and the heat, the water bakes and it dissipates, but then you have a water stain,
Exactly,
right?
yes.
So the toppings, there are certain toppings that people are putting on top of the ceramic coating, right?
Yeah, there's a certain toppings that they put, and what they're doing is they want the water just to slide out, so that doesn't happen. However, some other coatings, they will give you all that real nice water beads, and it looks nice, and for photos and everything is phenomenal. But when the surface dry, more likely you will see some markings there from the water spot where it dry.
Okay.
So,
So how does your product address that? Not only the beading, because
Yes.
we know it beads the water, but the runaway water, right? How do we
Yeah.
avoid the water drying and creating a stain?
Right. So we have concentrated on the water at the time of impact with the surface just to flash out. We don't want the water sitting in there beating. We want the water just to continue to move. That's how we will address it.
Because what happens when the water dries up?
Well, when the water dries up, it could be beatings, the small water beatings, and when the water evaporates, it will leave a mark on the surface, and it could be from the garden hose, or it could be even from the rain. If you have the vehicle under a tree and it rains, you will see all the little water beads, and it looks real nice. But when it dries, here in South Florida, for example, you go back and you will see that there's some markings in there.
And the mineral deposits is left.
Yes.
So how do we address that? How do we address that with the ceramic coating that you have?
What we have done is the ingredients that we have in here, we don't put a lot of effort on this water beading per se. We have put the efforts on the water being repellent, and we have put a lot of effort on the coating that is able to be applied to different surfaces,
Okay.
rather than having 3 or 4 different coatings throughout the car.
Okay. So the water shedding is
The
what
water
we're
shedding,
talking
yes.
about, right? We're talking about the water shedding.
Yep.
And we want the water shedding. We want
Yes.
the protection, so we don't want the water to sit on the surface.
That's right.
Right? But we still want to protect the surface, and we want the water shedding,
Yes.
so that when your car is stationary, the water is going to be, but it's also going to shed. And the spots that it is steady there, because you parked your car, and it's sitting there for 4 or 5 hours, and if the water is still beating when you're driving off, that thing is
Exactly.
going to shed away.
Yes.
Okay.
So I've got my other wheels ceramic coated, my Z Performance wheels, and it was basically the foam applicator pad.
Right.
With this, we have bolts and rivets in the back.
Yes.
So can you explain the difficulties on making sure everything gets covered?
Yes. So, for example, on our kit, it comes with a small microfiber cloth, and this is just good to do the flat, even surfaces.
Okay.
But when you get into the screws and the corners and the backside, it's almost impossible to reach out with this. So what we have done is we have a small airbrush, a compressor. I can show you guys here shortly. And with that, we can set the proper pressure, and we are able to spray the wheel just like you're painting it.
Yes.
And that would allow us to go on those little areas that you won't be able to get any other way. So it's a phenomenal tool for that.
Because if you don't do that, it's going to be harder to clean, right?
Yeah, so what happens usually when you just do the flat surfaces and you don't go into those special small areas, the dirt will start building in there.
Oh, you don't want that.
And it won't come out because it stays there,
Yeah.
So it's a nice tool to make sure that you cover the entire surface.
Okay. And in a little bit, he's going to spray the product on there. But before he sprays the product on there, he's obviously, you have to, prep the surface. Like as you do with paint, you have to prep the surface before you apply any paint sealants or any ceramic coating. So he's going to show us how to do that. So these wheels are going to be, I believe, the 10-inch. Yeah, these are 20 by 10 and ET of 20. So this is going to be a really aggressive offset. Like I said, this is one of my dream wheels I've always wanted, and I've seen these in like multiple pictures. I've seen them on like Toyota Supras, back in the day Subarus when I used to be into JDM cars. And to be honest, a lot of people in the forums have these wheels and they'll look great on any really car, right? So you can basically put this on any car and it'll look great. And And if you haven't seen the last video I put out, these are going to be a diamond black finish. And the unfortunate part is they don't have the red center cap that I'm looking for. So I'm going to rock the black center caps with the gold lettering for a little bit. And then when they're available, I'm going to get the red center caps and put them in there because I think the red center caps are more iconic. And I've always seen them. I always, dreamed about having something like this. So, like I said, when they come in, I'll change them out.
Beautiful wheels. Love the color.
Yeah, these have always been my dream wheels.
Yeah. Again, make sure. Let's see. The next step is what we're gonna do now. Here's the little air compressor. These air compressors, you can buy them on Harbor Freight. They're fairly inexpensive. However, the gun, the pencil that comes with that is not good. After one time, it's garbage. So this one is a $200 one. It's a real good one. So right here is the mark Iwata. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put some of the prep oil through the pencil. We're gonna flush the system, although that every time I finish doing a job, I will flush it to avoid the ceramic clogging the system. But it's a good measure to flush the system, start fresh. We will put a little bit of the product, we will flush it with air, and then after that we're ready to put the coating in there. We will put our mask because you have to be in a ventilated area and you have to have good airflow. It's not good to breathe this stuff. So usually the compressor, I set it up at 40 pounds. So when you pull on the trigger, it goes to about 35, 30 PSI. And I have noticed that gives me a nice uniform pattern. So that's the pressure that I like to set it up. Sometimes when I do the calipers, I lower it a little bit. So I play with the settings just to make sure, you want a lot of product, but you want a lot of product going to the area that you want to tackle. You don't want a lot of product going everywhere else, Yeah. So here's the bottle we're going to be using, and we're going to open it up slowly. And this is a brand new bottle. Every time you finish using the bottle, you need to wipe the surface real well. You can put the cap back on, tie it properly, and you can store it. The product will not go bad. The product will go bad if you leave it days without the cap open. So this is fine. So we're going to pour some of this into the cup. I will be putting the mask, and we're going to start spraying the backside. We're going to allow them to cure for about 5 minutes. We will wipe it off. We will inspect it. Then we will turn the wheel to the other side, and maybe we do one more coat after.
All right, guys. So in closing, we coated both wheels. We coated Ken's BBS LMs and we coated my BBS RS2s with using TurboWax's ceramic coating. It's rated at 9H. What was unique about this process in particular is in the past when I've coated wheels, it's been really hard to get behind the in the barrel under the bolt. So this time around, we definitely used a different application process, which was with the airbrush gun. So we did actually 8 wheels today, which is a lot. We went through 2 bottles,
yeah,
of your product, and we went through the process. We had a good curing time on them. Afterwards, we left them in the sun and we let them bake for a while. So really happy with the end result. And it was a learning experience for us too, because although I had done, coatings before, I prefer doing them with someone with the level of expertise that Juan has, where he's coaching us through the process. Both Ken and I are hands-on type of guys, so we actually like to do the work. But having someone there to give you that level of comfort, to give you that assurance that what you're doing it fine. He's monitoring you, making sure that you don't leave the ceramic coating on too long, because if you leave it on too long, then it's bad as well. You got the haziness, and making sure that you level it appropriately. So with that, Juan, I want to thank you once again for welcoming us to your shop and letting us use the product. One of the things that I do want to encourage you, if you're interested, Juan is very approachable. I mean, this guy loves what he does. He wants to coach you through it. He wants to evaluate your car and see. He doesn't do this for everybody. It's very unique, because there's a small, group of customers that, he actually does work on. But he's very encouraging in using and coaching you through the process. So once again, thank you, Juan. And if you're watching, stay tuned.